The domestic cat exists within our homes as a masterpiece of evolutionary engineering, a silent sentinel that has transitioned from the wild African plains to the soft upholstery of our living rooms without ever truly surrendering its wild essence. We often view our relationship with these house philosophers as one of simple companionship, yet we frequently stumble into the shadows of misunderstanding, committing what we might call the 7 deadly sins of feline care. To look into the eyes of a cat is to witness a profound contract of trust, a bond that is easily fractured by human projections and outdated cultural myths. We begin our journey into the inner circle of the feline-human bond by deconstructing the most common nutritional fallacy that has persisted through generations of folklore: the image of the cat and the saucer of milk. While history and media have painted a charming picture of the farmer offering a bowl of fresh cream to his feline companion, the biological reality is far more clinical and unforgiving. Most cats are by and large completely lactose intolerant. They may crave the high-fat content of dairy products like ice cream or whipped cream, but their physiology does not love them back. In many households, chronic digestive issues and poor litter box habits are traced directly back to this single dietary transgression. As the apex predators of the home, their systems are optimized for specific proteins, not the sugars found in bovine milk, making this treat a hidden burden on their metabolic health. Beyond the bowl, the second betrayal of the feline spirit occurs through the physical suppression of their sensory systems. We live in an era of digital performance, where dressing a cat in a taco costume or a festive hat is viewed as harmless entertainment. Yet, for the cat, this is a violation of their tactile reality. A cat's body is a sophisticated sensory array. Their fur and the specialized whiskers located not just on their faces, but across their entire bodies, are highly sensitive instruments. When we cloak them in fabric, we introduce a constant foreign pressure that disrupts their ability to process environmental data. It is not merely a matter of disliking the outfit. It is a physical imposition that can be distressing to their very nature. This leads us to the third sin, the forced interaction. We often find ourselves overwhelmed by the aesthetic charm of a cat, the tiny nose, the mlim of a tongue, and we feel a desperate urge to squeeze, hold, or pet them, regardless of their current state. However, cats are the ultimate arbiters of personal space. Forcing a cat to sit in a lap or endure petting when they are overstimulated is a direct hit to the value of the human association. When we ignore the twitch of a tail or the subtle shift in body language that signals they have reached their limit, we are no longer partners, we are captors. The cat whisperer is not the person who forces a pickup, but the one who waits for the cat to cross the threshold of the personal bubble on their own terms. True connection is a mutual decision, a delicate dance of consent where the human respects the feline's right to say no, ensuring that when the interaction does happen, it is a reward for both parties, rather than a chore for the cat. The second act of our exploration into the feline psyche delves into the quietest yet most profound fractures in the domestic bond, the medical and psychological neglect that often goes unnoticed until the damage is irreversible. We often speak of the cat as a self-sufficient guardian of the home, but this independence is a double-edged sword that frequently leads to the sin of medical omission. Statistics reveal a startling disparity in veterinary care between dogs and cats, largely because the feline aversion to the travel carrier makes the process a grueling ordeal for the owner. However, to skip annual vet visits is to ignore the fundamental biology of a creature that has evolved to mask pain as a survival mechanism. By the time a cat shows visible signs of distress, a condition may have already reached a critical stage. Rapid physical changes, particularly after the age of 7, can manifest in the mouth, where dental decay and tartar buildup can lead to systemic infections. We must view these checkups not as an optional luxury, but as a mandatory maintenance of the feline sanctuary, as vital as the air they breathe. This neglect of the physical often mirrors a misunderstanding of the feline mind, leading to the destructive sin of punishment. In the human world, discipline is a tool for education, but in the cat's world, punishment, be it a squirt bottle, a raised voice, or a physical strike, is interpreted only as a betrayal by a trusted ally. The use of a water bottle is a particularly insidious mistake. While it may stop a cat from scratching the sofa in your presence, it does not address the underlying instinctual need to mark territory. Instead, the cat simply associates the unpleasantness with you and the bottle, eroding the very foundation of your relationship. Yelling carries the same weight. The same voice that whispers endearments suddenly becomes a source of terror. Because a cat's brain processes correction within a tiny window of about 2 seconds, any punishment delivered after the fact is entirely decoupled from the action in their mind. What remains is not a learned lesson, but a lingering cloud of distrust and fear. The midnight rituals of our cats, their perimeter patrols, and their sudden bursts of energy are expressions of their mojo, their innate confidence and sense of territorial security. When we punish them, we dismantle this mojo piece by piece. We must instead embrace the yes and no of environmental design. If a cat is scratching a forbidden chair, the solution is not a squirt of water, but the placement of a yes object, a sturdy, attractive scratching post directly next to the no object. By applying deterrents like sticky tape to the furniture and providing a superior alternative, we guide their behavior without compromising their dignity. This approach respects the cat as a sentient inhabitant of the home, a midnight sentinel who deserves to feel safe in their kingdom rather than living in fear of a sudden, inexplicable reprimand from their human companion. The final and most irreversible transgressions against the feline spirit involve the exploitation of their vulnerability and the physical alteration of their anatomy. In the modern age of digital connectivity, we encounter the sin of content exploitation, a trend where cats are treated as mere props for viral amusement. Whether it is the deliberate placement of a cucumber to trigger a fear-based startle response, or forcing a cat into water to witness their frantic reaction, these acts represent a profound abuse of the domestic contract. To use a cat's stress for social media engagement is to trade their psychological security for a fleeting moment of human entertainment, ignoring the fact that if these cats had a vote, they would never choose to be placed in such compromising positions. A true partner in feline care captures the organic, sleepy, or playful moments of their companion, rather than engineering scenarios that inflict trauma for the sake of a subscriber count. Yet even this exploitation pales in comparison to the ultimate sin, the practice of declawing. Despite what some may believe, declawing is not a simple manicure or the removal of a nail. It is a surgical mutilation known as deknuckling, where the last bone of each toe is amputated. This procedure is so severe that over 27 countries have outlawed it, recognizing it as a violation of animal welfare. The arguments used to justify this, protecting furniture, preventing scratches to children, or accommodating immunocompromised owners, are effectively shortcuts that fail to address the root of the behavior. In truth, declawing often creates far worse problems. Deprived of their primary defense, many cats experience chronic pain and shift toward biting as a secondary line of protection. Furthermore, the physical pain in their paws often leads to litter box avoidance, as the sensation of digging becomes agonizing. Protecting the feline legacy means choosing the path of behavioral modification over surgical mutilation. We can utilize nail caps, regular trims, and strategic environmental design, such as using sticky paws on furniture and providing high-quality scratching posts to harmonize our lives with theirs. By rejecting these 7 sins, we honor the cat as a complex, feeling being. The bond between human and cat is a fragile yet devoted heart, a connection built on the slow accumulation of trust and the quiet understanding of a creature that chooses to share its life with us. When we see our cats not as subjects to be controlled, but as sovereign spirits to be respected, we finally step into our role as true guardians of their extraordinary mojo. As we reflect on these 7 transgressions, we see that the path to a cat's heart is paved with patience and scientific understanding. By honoring their biological needs and respecting their emotional boundaries, we cultivate a bond that transcends simple ownership. If you found this guide to the feline spirit helpful, please consider liking this video, subscribing to the channel, and sharing your own experiences in the comments below. Together, we can build a world where every cat feels truly understood.